Light it.
We begin with a huge name making a major move just days ago. Huge, like thick huge, like neck huge, leg huge, running back huge. 1995 Heisman Trophy winner, 2011 College Football Hall of Fame inductee Eddie George joins us right now. He's a four-time Pro Bowler, jumped into the coaching ranks a few years ago at HBC side Tennessee State. 4 years you were there, Coach. It's hard, by the way, it's really hard to call him Coach. Like he's Eddie. Like it's hard to say Coach George.
That's cool. But you can call me.
I know.
No. You left some of it out,
Coach George.
Hey, Stone, get used to it.
Stone, you left some of it out. 1996 Rookie of the Year. Tell him. 1996 Rookie of the Year. 7,000-yard seasons. 10K yard rushing club. Heisman.
Okay. Oh wow.
Coach.
I'm here to do the coaching accolades. I'm going to do the coaching accolades.
Well, you know I'm a running back, so I'm going to show him the running back love. I'm going to show him the running back love. You feel me? And he's a member of the 10K club.
That's right.
And the Heisman
So
club.
get it right.
All right,
and
so
Rookie of the
we
Year.
know about Eddie as a running back. Let's talk about Eddie as a head coach, because that's why Coach George is joining us right now. 4 seasons at HBC side Tennessee State, went 24-22, had that 9-3 season last year. Coach got to the FCS playoffs as well. So that's impressive. Even more so when you consider what the Tigers program was before he arrived, averaging about 3 wins a year the prior 4 seasons. Sunday, he makes the big move from HBC to the MAC, the new head coach of Bowling Green University. It took a while for us to finally get to it. Eddie George joins the triple option this week. Congratulations, Coach George.
Oh, thank you, guys. I appreciate it. I love. Thank you, Mark. I love watching your podcast. It's always fun to be on. I'm glad I made it in this capacity. I always wanted to be on, but I guess I had to get this job to get on the show.
Hey, Eddie, great to see you, and congrats. And we talked many times. That place is special to me. They took a chance on a 35-year-old receiver coach out of Notre Dame, and I fell in love with community. As you go, that community goes. And I called you the day before you took that job and said, man, this is not a normal job. This is a town of 25,000 people that, to get that stadium full, they have to have a reason to go. Yep. And I got news. You're that reason. And obviously your players when you get going. But write this down, Trotter Steakhouse, Sam B's. Take your wife there and blow it up. It's an incredible place. Carter Park, your kids are a little older, but that's where my daughter and son played baseball. Incredible place. And never say the T word, ever.
What's that? I don't know what that is.
That place 40 miles north of you.
Where is it, Urban?
I don't. You go north until you smell it. West of you, I don't know, something somewhere up there. Hey, congrats, man! And here's a good thing. I'll let you go with this. The place is in pretty good shape. Scott Leffler, you have good facilities. I was up there 2 years ago. I mean, I'm not going back to what it was like in 01. It wasn't like that.
Yeah,
you got a pretty good situation, Coach George.
It is the moment I touched down yesterday. You can feel the love, the excitement, and that's what got me excited. My family was excited. I was excited. I was like, man, this is awesome. They flew me and my family up, and immediately greeted with love and respect and admiration. So excited, just meeting the people around the town, around the program, the staff. I mean, it's just been first class, and I get it. They're very passionate fans. Like Buckeye Nation's passionate. But this is a little different. It's very intimate. It's not overwhelming. It's very genuine. Not that Buckeyes are not. It's just different, man. And I see it. I feel really good about it. Of course, given the situation, there's some tough decisions that I have to make. Scott left it in a great position. Staff is great. But I'm going to put together the best staff in this situation, and I feel really positive about the future of Bowling Green football. I'm really excited.
Man, I just want to, man, we were at the Heisman ceremony, spending some time together. We were talking, and you started at Tennessee State. I asked you, Yo, how did you get into coaching, man? And you told me an amazing story, so I want you to share it on the podcast, man. How you kind of got started, how you got the job at Tennessee State, and how you made it to now being the head coach at Bowling Green.
Well, prior to me jumping into the profession, I was doing things on Broadway. I have a wealth management business that I run, and this was during COVID, and I managed money for the AKA Foundation, and the president for the AKA Foundation was the former president for Tennessee State, Dr. Glenda Glover. And it was one day, out of the clear blue, she calls me and she says, "Hey, I'm calling for, to ask you a question. I want you to have an open mind." So immediately I'm thinking, okay, she wants to ask me for money. All right, for some type of foundation. And then she says, "It's not for money." I said, "Okay." Probably wants me to help with the search of finding their coach because I heard on the news that they were thinking about going a different direction. Or I was thinking, hey, she wants to put more money into the account that we managed for her at the time. So I was like, yo, it's got to be good news. She hit me with, yeah, I'm going to ask you to be the next head coach for Tennessee State. I'm looking at the phone like, what? You do know I've never coached, right? Like,
Right.
what are we talking about?
Right.
So I said, you know what? I'm flattered, but I'll pray on it. I'll think about it.
Yeah.
Hung up the phone. I said, listen, I'm not going to do that. And my wife said, well, what's the matter? I said, listen, Glenda Glover had the audacity to ask me to be head coach for a football team. Like, come on, I've never coached. Then my wife said, well, why not? You'll be a great head coach.
Yeah.
I started thinking like, well, what if I did do it? And how would I start a program? And ever since then, I started thinking about the impact I could possibly have on these young men and give back to the game that gave so much to me and more, to prepare them not for just football games, but for life after the game, like you're doing now in media, like I'm doing in coaching, like so many other guys finding their next passion through the platform of football. And it took off like wildfire. It kept me up at night. I'm like, Mark, please, Eddie, don't jump into coaching. You want to stay focused on acting and business. That's it. Lo and behold, I took the job and I fell in love with it. It was very hard. It was tough. It stretched me, but the gratification that I get out of seeing the kids get it on the field and seeing it come to life and building a program was nothing like it. So my first game, Mark, was against right down the street in Canton against Grambling State, in August of 21. We had 19 penalties. 19 penalties, which was a record. All right. Our final game against SEMO this past season to win the championship, we had 2. So there was a lot of work, a lot of changes I had to do. I had to fire and hire coaches. I had to get rid of players. I had to go through some hard, tough days, but it prepared me like no other for coaching. And I love it, man. I absolutely love it.
Well, that's an amazing story, man. And it resonated with me, and I wanted you to tell the podcast. So I appreciate you sharing that, man.
No problem, brother. No problem.
How did this all come about, Coach? Because this is a late season hire, right? Rarely are head coaches hired in March. So give us.
I want to hear this.
Give us the quick timeline on how you went from Tennessee State to Bowling Green.
So, actually, it was funny. I go up to Indianapolis, and I'm at the combine, and just making my rounds, saying hello to people, and watching the guys run and so forth. And I go back to my hotel room, and I saw across the ticker that Scott left for the Eagles. And immediately I'm thinking to myself, wow, that is so messed up. Man, that's a tough situation that they're going to be in. I'm glad I'm dealing with my stuff, but I'm glad I don't have to deal with that, right? So I get in my car, driving back to Nashville, enjoying my ride. I was listening to Above the Line by somebody, his book. No, I'm joking, but I did read it. It was a really good book. I took some stuff out of it, by the way. But I'm driving back, and I'm literally, swear to God, I said, God, show me a sign. What do I need to do for next year to prepare? Because right now I'm in the last year of my deal. I'm not hearing much talk from Tennessee State, clearly because of their issues, and I'm wondering what's next for me in this profession. I'm driving past Bowling Green, Kentucky. I said, give me a sign. literally gave me a sign. Driving past Bowling Green, Kentucky, I see Bowling Green. I look down at my phone. I see Urban text me. It's like, okay. He says, hey, would you be interested in the Bowling Green job? I said, I text him, I'm driving. Call me. Calls me, and we're talking. I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. He says, hey, the AD called me, he asked me to help him with the search, and there's only one name that I gave him, and that's you. And I was like, oh damn, okay, all right. You get an endorsement from Urban Meyer, you have to take that call. You gotta explore it. And it was not given. Okay, it was other candidates. I think there was 28 other candidates they looked at. I said, you know what? I'm going to go for it. I know about his history here at BG. The other coaches I played against Bowling Green when I was in college. I had my first touchdown against them, ironically, my freshman year, and off it went like wildfire. Then I got a phone call from um, one of the search firms to do it. So that whole week, from that moment on till right now, was a complete whirlwind of interviews. I went out to Arizona on a vacation. It was a world. I spent almost 10 grand just to go on this vacation before spring ball to only get a massage and had to fly to Detroit to do an interview for this job. Okay. And lo and behold, it happened. And now I'm here in Bowling Green, delving in head first with the staff, knowing the players, getting the true lay of the land of what needs to be accomplished, get done, and get this thing off on the right track. So it was an amazing whirlwind, man, of events that I'm sitting here right now. But it's all due to that guy, Urban Meyer, that I'm sitting in this seat right now because he gave me a vote of confidence that it was a good opportunity and just where the program is now. And if he can see value in what I've done, I gotta take that call.
So I want to clarify that this is, when Derek, the athletic director, gave me a call, I don't know him, never met him before, and we were just talking, and I said, well, give me an hour. He said, do you have some candidates? And I said, give me an hour and and I kind of started thinking, because I have some other friends in the profession that we did talk about some other names, but I said, what are you looking for? And here's what I really want you to hit. This is going to be your trademark, which the one thing about football teams, when you hear the word culture in retail or corporate America, it's hard to really feel it. College football, you feel that culture every Saturday when that team jogs on the field. You can see it, you can hear it, and you can feel it. And so I said, Eddie, I know we're friends, but they've asked me to do a job. I'm going to ask you a couple questions here. And we asked a couple questions about his family and all that. And I said, okay, BG walks on that field. I'm sitting in the suite or upstairs and watching that thing. What am I going to see? What am I going to hear? And what am I going to feel when the orange and brown come running out on that field? Tell them what you said about the downhill. And Mark, you're going to love this, bro. When you hear this, go get it. I'm getting chills thinking about it.
Hey, there's one thing we're going to be is fast, physical, and discipline. And it's going to be duo, power, counter, repeat.
Repeat.
Everybody in the stadium will know what we're running. The question is, can you stop it? That's going to be the mindset. And Mark, as you know, man, listen, the sauce is made in the off season, man. The championships are won in the winter, the spring, and most definitely the summer. Yes. So you know how it's built. You know how it's built. The mat drills, the competition drills, hey, Urban, you're gonna appreciate this. There's a field, like a couple fields side by side that's gated. It might not have been gated when you were here, but for summer camp, I'm gonna let that grass grow high.
That's it.
The first 2 weeks, we're going to live in there in that pit and then hit that hill after practice.
Yeah. You gotta feel bad before you feel good. Yep.
There
Yes.
we go. So
yes.
That's the process, man. And I mean, I'm excited because these kids are excited because I had to get in front of them and really address the elephant in the room of where we are. All of us are not feeling really good about the change, the transition, how it transpired. I had to tell my team that I'm leaving to go to another job, and why. And that was painful. Coaches, painful. But I said, hey, this is where we're going to find out what we're made of right here. How mentally tough are we? We're made for a moment like this because here we are. Now the question is, but when we leave this room, who are we going to be? What do we choose to do about this? Are we going to attack it and become closer and really focus on building a strong relationship and getting through this? Or are we just going to fracture and dismantle and run away from it? And, I said other few things, but I think it resonated with those guys. And now they're committed to, hey, we're going to dig our heels in and get the process rolling. And it's going to be something when we roll out there in that stadium on Saturday in the fall, I don't know how good we're going to be, but they're going to understand that they've been played, they played BG for sure. No questions asked.
Now, we've always, I think the whole topic around college football, we've discussed it a lot on the show, has been just the state of college football that it's in with the NIL. I know you dealt with it a little bit at Tennessee. Like, how do you go about evaluating your roster currently and, adding to it through the NIL or being able to retain your people from going into the portal? What has been your approach and your strategy kind of dealing with the new landscape of college football?
Well, this morning, I had a long, about 2-hour conversation with the director of recruiting, just giving me the lay of the land from who are the best recruiters on the staff, who recruits what area, how many guys on the roster, how many of their guys on the roster did they get, knowing the roster, getting a lay of the land of NIL and donors and time. So I'm fully immersed into that right now. Before I do anything, this is my blueprint. All right. And on that blueprint, I have my players right in priority. All right. And I go right down that list and I have right next to it what's needed, the goals, the action plan, ideas. So I understand that's where I'm at right now. That's where it all starts. It starts with the players. I got to, recruit my players now. I got to get in front of them immediately when I'm done with the coaches. I got to go talk to them, have dinner with them, get to know them, save this offensive line, say, hey, here's the vision. This is what we're going to do. You're going to be developed, inside and out. I'm going to put the best staff together. We're going to still hold on tight to this thing and go right down the line. So the next, the next 4 to 5 days, I will be living in this office, probably sleeping on the couch until I get the staff right, till I get a plan in place for spring football. So these fans can be really proud of what they see in here in the spring.
That man is prepared. That man is prepared, Coach.
Quick Bowling Green story. So I got there. It's a little different shape now, but we had no training table. And so I put my line coach, which is a good one to have in charge of training table, and he met with them. And I said, I want victory meals. Because a victory meal, after you win, you get steak, and, at Ohio State, you get whatever you want. They had no training table. So I met with the people. They were 1-10, I think, the year before I got there. And I said, I'll make a deal with you. If we win a game, you give us a nice steak dinner, etc. I think it was like $12, $14. I said, if we lose, you can give them the worst. I don't care what because when you lose, you don't deserve to eat. You figure it out. And so I met with him, and he was great. The guy in charge, he said, all right, so you're telling me you're taking over a team that's 1-10 or 2-9, whatever it was, and we can make that deal. And of course, I got to make the budget work. So there's a chance. If you lose a lot of games, we're going to make some money. I said, yep, let's do it. Wow. We ended up going, I think, 9-3 our first year. So it cost the school a couple $1,000 on our training table because we turned it around.
Well, hey, it worked. The return on investment was great.
Yes.
But the facility also, that brand new SIBO Center, Bob SIBO, he's a tremendous, he's your best guy. He's your guy. I'm sure you met him already. If not, he's one of a dear friend. We had a couple of bottles of Silver Oak on the back patio at his house after our first year, the biggest turnaround in Division I that year. And he said, what do you need? I said, I need a SIBO Center. And so I think this is the third bottle of Silver Oak. He said, okay. We took a pencil out on napkins and we drew what the SIBO Center would look like. You know what's amazing, Rob and Mark? You drive by there now, it looks like that. He built the SIBO Center a year later, 2 years later, and that's the office he's in right now. So I'm telling you, man, BG's ready to go get a MAC championship.
Well, I appreciate the Urban. Hey, I'm gonna hold you to it. Now there are some events I might try to ask you to come to, man.
Done.
There, I'll talk to you offline, but I think it would be great. We can, get that fourth bottle of Silver Oak. This $2 million NIL war chest going.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
go.
Hey,
Might have
Eddie,
to
if you-
invite Ingram up there too.
Yeah.
Eddie, Eddie, if you
For
want
Coach
Mark's
and Eddie,
help,
I'll be
it's
there.
tequila. It's not wine. You go through tequila to get him.
Tequila, okay, got you.
Los Landeros tequila.
Los Lenderos.
Eddie, let's talk about scheduling. Next year, your two big away games that are going to bring in some money for you at Cincinnati, at Louisville. As you go forward, what's your scheduling approach out of conference going to be, and how soon can you get Ohio State on your schedule?
Well, they're already on. 27. I don't know what date it is, but they're already on it in 27. So I'm not looking at that one yet. Let me just deal with.
Let me get
I
through
gotta
it.
know what I got in the building first before I start worrying about what's down the road in Columbus. But when I was at Tennessee State, we played against Notre Dame. We played Mississippi State. It was a great environment. To have an opportunity to play against the blue blood schools allows our kids to have that great experience. And that, in fact, it really spawned our season 2 years ago when we had our first winning season at Tennessee State. We went up to Notre Dame, and the score at halftime was 10-3, and after one quarter was 10-3. Our kids played hard. We knocked somebody out on a kickoff, got a fumble recovery, and that's when we woke up the echoes, and they put 52 on us. But I say, for that first quarter, we gave them hell, and I said, listen, we know what it is. We understood what it is, but we competed, and that's it. We played hard, and we forced them to play us at a different level. So we went on to have our first winning season. Of course, 9-3 last year. We built onto that. So my freshman year, we played BG, and there was a tight ball game through 4 quarters. So all MAC schools are going to play you tough. This is a tough division, great coaches, and I can't wait to compete in it.
Man, Eddie, man, big bro, I appreciate you. You've had a legendary college career, Heisman Trophy winner, legendary NFL career. How has your successes and your failures prepared you to be the coach that you are becoming? Done a great job at Tennessee State, now at Bowling Green. How has your experiences as a player prepared you, and how do you pour into your players throughout, leaning on your experiences as a player?
Well, Mark, that's a great question, man. I'm always talking about my failures, not necessarily the successes. It's the failures that really make you. And everything that I've done, even when I played ball, the 2 fumbles I had against Illinois my freshman year led me to win the Heisman Trophy my senior year. Playing in the NFL, having come a yard shy of possibly tying the ball game against the Rams in Super Bowl 34. Losing the next year, being the number 1 seed in the NFL in the playoffs, losing against Baltimore and Ray Lewis and that great defense in 2000. Always just sharing those stories and saying, hey, it's not the event that happens to you, it's how you respond. That's where mental toughness comes in. It's how you respond to it. We never lose, we learn. And that's the beauty of it. So, and even as a head coach, some of my toughest days, man, I there was a situation at Tennessee State I did not believe existed. I mean, we're at a homecoming game. There were some things happening on the sideline that I was very disappointed in. Found out that players were involved, a couple of the staff members, and I'm like, this is not it. So I had that moment changed my entire coaching style, because at that point I was really observing and I was very laid back and just trying to figure out who I was going to be as a coach. And that's when I put the non-negotiables in place, and things shifted from there. So you have to go through the hard stuff. You have to embrace the hard stuff in order to find out who you are and to see the beauty that lies on the other side of that.
Coach, so this year we have Deshaun Jackson heading to be the head coach at Delaware State, Michael Vick to be the head coach at Norfolk State. Of course, Coach Prime did it at Jackson State, and you getting your head coaching start at Tennessee State. All four of these NFL former elite athletes getting their head coaching debuts, if you will, at HBCUs, historically Black college and universities. Why are HBCUs becoming a bit of a gateway to becoming a head coach for former players?
I'm not quite sure. I think, Dion definitely started this. I think he was always coaching one. Like for years, high school, always coaching the Suns through little league and junior high, high school, and so forth. So he left the TV world and got into coaching. And man, I thought it was really cool. I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't seeking to become a coach. And then when I did it, I actually called Prime and asked him, can I be successful at doing this, having no coaching experience? And he says, yes, you are the CEO of your program. You played the game. I very rarely do I call plays. And I was like, that makes sense. So I jumped into it and I've had some success. Now I'll say this, the HBCU world is different. It's challenging. There aren't a lot of resources, a lot of things you're going to have to do on your own and grind through it. But it's a great teaching ground for you. It prepares you for every scenario, and you appreciate things a little bit more. When you've come from an Alabama or an Ohio State or Bowling Green, and you just have to be very creative in terms of getting things done. And it's going to be grind. I think Michael and Deshaun are going to have a wonderful experience, but there's going to be a lot of work that lies ahead for them.
So you spoke to Coach Prime before you got into head coaching at an HBCU. Did you talk to Dion before you made that move from Tennessee State up to the MAC and Bowling Green?
Part of it. I rely on a few guys. Jerome Bettis, one, Dion. Just trying to get a sense of, is this a good opportunity? Given the timing of this, how do you manage through it? I mean, this is in March, okay, and the staffs are set. We're going into spring ball. There's some challenges that lie ahead with this thing, so it was a very difficult decision to make, but one that I feel good about in my gut, and I feel like it was time, and I think is a great opportunity to do it. So he gave me that vote of confidence, and gave me some advice, and that's what I seek. Whether it's Urban or Jim Tressel or a bunch of guys, I've vetted out everybody and got their opinion. So yeah.
So Coach Prime took his kids, right, from the HBC out to Colorado. You have a young man, goes by the name of Eric George, who was second-team all-conference defensive lineman, led Tennessee State in tackles for losses. Are we going to have father and son coaching and playing together
right now,
again?
He's at Tennessee State, working out, going to class. If he decides to jump in the portal, that will be discussed. So
that's a firm yes. That's right. Eddie, thanks for joining us, man. It's you look good there. I'm so proud of you, and I can't wait to come see you.
Yeah, Herb, thank you so much, guys.
Hey, real quick, Mark, we got a little tradition sometimes during our interviews that we like to wrap things up with. And this, Mark, feels like the perfect time to throw that. For sure. Eddie.
Yeah, like Rob said, we do a thing on the show, man. We've been sitting here asking you questions for 30 straight minutes. Now we're giving you a chance to fire back a question at whoever you want to, man. So you get one shot.
One shot. All right. Mark, this is for you. Okay.
Okay.
If Urban Meyer was a color, what color would he be and why?
If he was a color, what color would he be and why?
Yes.
Damn.
Yeah, you asked me to ask a question, so there we go.
He'd be.
I'm waiting on this one.
He'd be blue, man, because he a cool cat. He'd be blue, man, because he a cool cat.
That's what you want to say, blue, cool cat? Oh,
he a blue.
Is that acceptable, Urban?
I'd be burning red is what I think.
I was going to say red. I was going to say I was gonna say red, but I was like, that's my dog, man. I know him as a blue cat.
Man, hey, Urban, what you gonna do with this guy? Yeah, y'all don't have great chemistry. I see.
I'll tell you what, Rob. How about staring at two guys I love?
Everybody else, but to me, ever since I've known him, he's been blue.
But think about that. J.K. Dobbins, Zeke Elliott. If I would have had Eddie George and Mark Ingram, I'd have wore your ass out where you guys would have.
I know who he was as a coach, but I know him as a big nooner. And so he's cool. He golfs. We have tequila. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's blue. You know what I mean? If you would have asked me in 2009 when we were playing against him in the SEC championship, he was a red cat.
Y'all won that game, right?
Yeah, we did. They won the year
we
before.
got him in 08. He got us 09.
I love it.
I'm 2-1 versus him.
Stirred it up.
I'm 2-1 versus him.
1-1.
1-1.
Coach George, have you learned the words to I Ziggy Zumba yet?
I learned it yesterday.
There's not a lot of words.
There's not
to
many
it, Rob.
words involved.
And I'm learning about the claw too, the secret handshake. So that's yeah.
Oh, there's a handshake.
Yes, there is. So I'm learning the words as we speak.
I think there's like 5 words total, and most of them are I, Ziggy, and
Hey, set
Zumba.
up a fundraiser. Me, Rob, and Mark will come hang with you.
Hey, I would love that. That'll be awesome.
We'll do it. We'll raise some cash.
Or better yet, Big Noon Kickoff rolls in town for the Battle of I-75. That T team at Bowling Green. Love it. Coach Eddie George, congrats on the Bowling Green gig, and thanks for joining us this week on the Triple Option presented by Wendy's.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Light it.